We have that beautiful passage today in our gospel from St. Matthew. We know that Matthew was a tax collector, and in the time of Jesus, they would have been seen as traitors working with the Roman government to unjustly tax the Jewish people, very often in ways that were not fair to them. They were burdened with a great deal of tax. But Jesus calls Matthew to follow him. And the Pharisees see Jesus eating and sitting with sinners. And we hear that powerful line, "I did not come to call the righteous ones," Jesus says, "but sinners." That's the call of Jesus to each and every one of us. It should fill us with great hope. The great sin of the Pharisees was they didn't recognize they were sinners. They were filled with pride. They were better than everyone else. They looked down on other people. They considered themselves to be the righteous ones and did not really need any mercy. And that was their downfall, because in fact we are all sinners. It's easy to judge other people. We do it quite often. To talk about them, gossip is a great sin. We direct all of our energy towards criticizing others, but do we really honestly look at ourselves? That's the call of Jesus today, to follow me. Look into your own heart. He says it in many different ways throughout his teaching. Pull the plank out of your own eye, Jesus says in another passage from Matthew, before you worry about the splinter in your brother's eye. We can't be forgiven if we don't think we need it. And there's one thing we need, is God's mercy, his grace. We can never achieve salvation on our own power. And for us, that's the gift we celebrate today, the mercy of God, poured out generously without measure over and over again, leading sinners to new life, healing our hearts, helping us over time to conquer our sins. That doesn't happen immediately. Sins are things that hang on, that we struggle with. We all have them to a certain degree. But God gave the power to the church through Jesus Christ to forgive those sins. That's what happens in confession. When we come to Mass, we experience the mercy of God. And there's a second part to that calling today, not only to recognize that we need that mercy so that we can receive it and be healed, we need to be the instruments of mercy. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. The sin of the Israelites in our first reading is very clear. They are practicing unethical practices in their businesses, cheating and robbing the poor most especially. And as we hear the prophet Amos say, they don't even want to take time out for the Sabbath, for the festival of the new moon, those things built into the Jewish year to call people back to faithfulness, to call them to be grateful to God by shutting down business for these times of celebration and praising God. They're even tired of doing that. They don't have time for God. They're worried about amassing their own physical fortune by cheating on others. I desire mercy, Jesus says, not sacrifice. It's a call for each of us who have been so forgiven by God's grace that we must work to put that into practice in our lives every day through our kindness to others, our ability to forgive and love our enemies, those who have hurt us, by being generous with what we have, following the commandments, living a life that truly reflects what we say. It's not just about coming to Mass, it's about putting faith into practice. To be truly authentic Christians requires a great deal of us, but that's the call of God today. We honor St. Junipero Serra, one of the great missionaries of our country. He came from Spain with a desire to share God's love, the truth of the gospel, with those that did not know the Lord, many Native Americans in California. But he didn't just teach the faith. He didn't just baptize over 8,000 people in his 35 years of ministry. He didn't just found 9 of the 13 missions that really created California and bear the names today of those saints that Junipero Serra wanted to help others to learn about. What we honor today is the charity of Junipero Serra. He cared deeply about the people that he taught the faith to. He loved them, lived with them, cared for them when they were sick, mourned with them when they lost loved ones. He was a pastor that inspires all of us as priests because he cared deeply about people and wanted them to know the love and mercy of God. That's at the heart of the gospel. And he should inspire all of us today to devote our lives to living our faith well, bringing God's love to others, his mercy, his compassion. That's the call of every Christian, to evangelize all of those things that we have come to know, that we have received from God. We're called to pass on in word, but most especially in the manner of our life.